The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Recorded live. Cumberland County's smartest hour of talk radio. Welcome back to another edition of the Carolina Cabinet.
Well, everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm your host, Peter Pappas, in studio with Mrs. Laura Musler.
Hello, hello.
Looking lovely today.
Thank you. Have another beer, I get better looking.
Yes, you do. And welcoming Senator Thomas McInnis. We always have spirited discussions whenever we get into the room with each other. So let's dive in. We have an election coming March 3rd. And got a lot of issues. I see a lot of movement in your district. Sounds like VA issues are a big deal. We have
Scrimp. Can't forget the
scrimp. The scrimp. Those shrimpers from the summer. They're here back to haunt us.
They are.
So it seems like you got a lot of, there's a lot of hubbub about this stuff. And I'm glad that you came in today so you can kind of explain some of this and tell it to the layman. What are we talking about when it comes to VA issues? I mean, as a senator in the state, what's your responsibility for that?
Well, needless to say, we love our veterans, and we want to make sure that our veterans are as well taken care of as possible on a state level. Now, needless to say, the veterans that's a federal obligation. That's not a state obligation, but we want to make North Carolina as veteran friendly as possible.
Right.
One of the things we've done to accomplish that is to do away with the income tax on the veterans' pension. That's at a cost of about $50 million a year recurring to the taxpayers of North Carolina, which we approved, voted for. It is the law. So if you're a retired vet living in North Carolina, your pension is no longer taxed.
And what year did y'all pass that?
It's been the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So, and what term are you in now? Second, third, fourth?
Coming into sixth.
Okay, sixth term.
Going into seventh.
Okay, yeah. Wow. Congratulations. That's that right there is a feat. You keep coming back. Yeah. So with the veterans, it is a federal issue, but what does the state do? Like, is there a position at the state council state, or who's looking out for the veterans?
Governor has a cabinet level position of Veterans Affairs is what it's called. Okay. He picks the secretary. He picks the staff for that as far as the upper level. And, of course, he's over the direction of the National Guard. He's basically the commander-in-chief of the National Guard. General Hunt's the acting general, and he is over him. So when you have a natural disaster such as we had with the storms, you always see General Hunt out there with the governor. And, of course, that's one of his jobs is to help protect
So the state does have something for veterans as far as looking out for them. Now, did they run any homes or medical facilities?
We have the Veterans Retirement Home here in Fayetteville.
Right.
Got a couple more in the state, one up in Kernersville, and there's one they're either projecting or I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm not on Veterans Affairs, so I'm not as cued in as I would be if I was on that committee. But they closed the Veterans Retirement Home here. It's right off the river up here off Ramsey Street.
Is that the one that they rebuilt on the TV
I think
show?
they were talking about No. You're talking Extreme Makeover.
Yeah.
That was the something house for abused female homeless veterans or something.
I knew it had something to do with
turned out to be the biggest. This is an actual retirement home that's funded, I guess.
Funded several different ways. Predominantly federal. But they changed the water configuration of the storm water. And they flooded up under the building. It caused moisture to come in the building, caused mold to come in the building, and they moved everybody out. And to send them that were patients there that were living there, moved everybody out. And at that time, I received a call from one of my counterparts. Hey, you need to come down here and look at this veterans home because they're about to tear it down and possibly move it out of Cumberland County. And I said, not over my dead body are we going to move it out of Cumberland County.
And so you're very prolific up there in the Senate. So this was it even in your district?
Not in my district, out of my district, but the long and the short of it is the veterans are in everybody's district. So I was called in, took a look. It was already empty. It was very evident that there was moisture problems, but it was also evident that there's some good bones there. It could be rehab. Now, it will cost $30-40 million, but a new one to reconstruct from the ground up is $175 to $200 million. But the waiting list to get the funds to do that is somewhere between 15 and 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
We can rehab it in somewhere between 3 and 5.
Okay.
And that's where we came in from the Senate and the House side. And on our Senate side, we went ahead and put $43 million in the budget to do a rehab because that has an immediate return.
So the rehab is pretty much decided on. That's what we want to do, but we have that's tied up with the budget that's it's in the Senate budget.
You got a stalemate in the two leadership sides of the budget, and we'll be going back to air that out and fix that up in April when we get back in the short session.
Well, I just like the fact that you're not on the VA Veterans Affairs, but it's still a concern.
Absolutely.
It's still something that you picked up the torch when you were called.
Absolutely.
I think that's important because we've had 2 more in this whole state.
I think there's 2 more. There's one at Kernersville and there's one somewhere else in the mountains, I think, but I'm not sure exactly.
What kind of facility? Is it just essentially a nursing home for veterans?
It's a high-end nursing home that our vets go. And of course, I understand our World War II vets take some priority as far as getting in. And of course, they're leaving us at a fast rate, but our Vietnam vets are
how large of a facility? I mean, was it like 100 beds?
About 120 beds.
Wow.
But the rehab, they'll condense it back down to about 80 beds in the plan, according to what I've seen.
Why are we losing 20 to 40 beds?
Modernization to bring it up to the current code.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you got to have bigger hallways, bigger rooms, and everything now. Yeah.
Okay.
So
bigger is better, isn't it?
When was it? How old is it? Is it like 90
I think it's
years
about
old?
25 years old.
It's
It's not very old. That's that's the reason I'm saying I was an adamant proponent of rehabbing this and fixing it and keeping it here, of course, paramount that we keep it in Cumberland County and that we get it back online as fast as possible so we can service those people.
So if it were to be rehabbed, would they be able to stay there, or would it just be they'd have to get out for a period of
they're out now.
I mean, they're out now.
It's empty.
But
it's empty now.
Is it something that you could renovate half of it and have the other half?
You need
they
to
just
do it
have
all.
to be vacant.
The economy of scale needs to be all done at one time.
They're not there now, so it's best to do
now
it.
It's time to jump on it.
That's exactly right.
Leadership of legislature. Pass a budget.
I'm thankful that we have somebody up there that cares about districts other than his own.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
because sometimes people are like, "You're not my problem."
Yeah. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Right. Not my circus, not my
monkeys. Oh, no, you're not my party. So, no, shoo.
Yeah,
We've seen that from other elected officials. Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you're on top of it as much as you can be on top of it. I mean,
we just need to get the money, get the money appropriated and get the train on the track. And of course, I'm riding herd on it as much as possible. And we've got to get it through the House side. It's on the Senate side now. Got to get it through the House side and get it to the governor and get it signed.
And since I have you, state politics has always been muddy to me. I still, whenever I speak to you or anybody else elected up there, I'm like, I really have to go research like the districts and this, that, and the other. But why the Senate has a budget, the House has a budget, right?
Yeah.
So are we just not reconciling that? Like, where's the major conflict? If there was one thing,
have 2 issues. One is Senate side wants to build a new children's hospital, a new pediatric hospital, up in the Raleigh, Wake County area, and the House side doesn't want to cut the taxes using the current formula. They want to slow. We've got automatic formulas in for cutting taxes.
Okay.
In North Carolina, we don't have a money press. Every dollar that we spend came out of somebody's pocket. So we want as maximum amount of those dollars staying in the pockets of the taxpayers as possible. When we first got there, the overage was crazy. And there was money running out of everybody's ears, and they were spending it with reckless regard. And so we cut taxes, and we've taken those surpluses and put them back in the pockets of the taxpayers of North Carolina where it rightly belongs. And we do that on a formula called triggers. So if it goes up a certain amount, we cut the taxes in corresponding amount coming down on the tax rate. So we just reduced it to 3.99 from 4.25. And that was because we had a surplus, an overage of tax collection, because we were collecting too much taxes on the backs of the taxpayers of North Carolina.
So Laura and I spoke about that before, that it went from 4.25 to 3.99. Is there a quantifiable, or like, what should my plumber see different in his check? Did we get down the numbers that granular to say, look, is it going to be another 15 bucks?
1/4%. So, if
so
he made $100,000, he's taking 1/4% off. It's not big money, but, over time, it amounts to a lot of money. And of course, again, every dollar we can put back in the taxpayer's pocket is a dollar they can support their family with.
Okay.
And nobody spends my money better than me.
Amen. No, the government does a great job. Just give it all. Yeah. Just hand it over.
Okay. So only if I'm going to be running a Somali daycare.
So, yeah, there you go. No, we run Leering centers around here.
Leering centers.
Okay.
That's right.
So, Senator, I don't want to give you a hand grenade, but I want to ask you, just for my own edification, I guess. Republican, we have control of the Senate and the House, right?
Correct.
We don't have a supermajority.
Super in the Senate.
Okay.
One off in the House.
So, shouldn't we be able, as a party in charge, shouldn't we be able to run what we need to run through? Is it our own, we have a dissent in our own party with some of this stuff?
Amen.
Okay.
Right. You're correct. Again, it's the stalemate.
I don't want names. I just,
at the highest level, those two issues. And when we get those two issues, or when they get those two issues ironed out, we'll move forward. You will have pay raises for our state employees. Historically, I don't see any reason it wouldn't be. They'd be retroactive back to the beginning of the.
So they'd get money
back back till the new budget started last year. The other things that we're dealing with, especially raises. We've got our folks, our teachers need a raise. They've had all our state employees have had a little increase potentially. If they change plans on their hospitalization, they could have had a little money that they've had to pay versus having no money.
We definitely saw NCAE and some other groups. They basically said, look, without a budget, our insurance goes up, our pay didn't change, so we're taking a net loss
for the time being.
Until we budget. Or when was the budget supposed to be? What month it's supposed to?
July 1.
So July. So we're 7 months behind at this point. Well, that'd be a nice check if they get caught up. So before we move away from,
it depends on how big the if I'm getting $1 a month raise, then that's not a big check.
No, but I don't know. Work hard or play hard. So the other thing I wanted to discuss is the Children's Hospital. So I know we have Cape Fear Valley Health System here. I don't think we have anything specifically for children. So is that how many of those do we need through the state or have in the state? What's the story with that?
This would be a combination of, for a brand new pediatric children's hospital in Wake County. It would employ several thousand people. It would take 3 or 4 years to build, and it would be bringing the highest specialized physicians and assistants from across the country to practice here. And it would be a joint collaboration of Duke Hospital and UNC Chapel Hill. And as well as a new entity. So it would be a multifaceted part of putting it together. It wouldn't be, I've got mine, you've got yours, we're on this hill, you're on that one.
Yeah, getting Duke and Carolina families to get along, that's a big deal. It would
combine a lot of the assets, a lot of the resources put together for that purpose.
So do we not have...
I was just going to say, where is the next closest
children's hospital?
Big children's hospiel. I'm not talking about little one. I'm not like St. Jude's type. I think that's.
Do we have other facilities that?
Where's the closest
we all everybody has a children's facility. Wake Forest Baptist has Brenner. You've got the one at Duke. You got the one at Chapel Hill.
Right, but nobody has a children's hospital.
But they're a part of a bigger picture.
Right. Nobody has a dedicated campus to just children.
Right. So where's the next closest children's hospital to us right now?
Another
Do we
state?
know?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we just don't have one big dedicated campus right now, but we have.
I know you have Boston Children's Hospital in Boston, but that's a long way away.
That's what I'm saying.
There's probably something in between that, but I don't know what it is.
We should probably find out because that could be huge. People coming from other states here bringing more money.
It would be an economic engine.
Right.
Yeah. I've heard it kicked around, and like you said, there's those two issues. It's the hospital, and the tax. What did you call it? The triggers or whatever. Yeah. So we just need these guys to agree and move on. So because that brings me to another thing. We've got primaries. We have a lot of long-serving, good public servants that are being primaried, and
some of them by criminals
or Democrats
that have switched over.
So
now,
so this is where your emotional intelligence comes in to tell me to shut up.
Yes,
but so I was going to mention first the Democrats that have switched parties.
Yes,
just in time to run as Republicans in the primary, just to, it's kind of genius. I think it's mean, but it's genius.
Is it genius?
Just to get the Republicans to waste their money. That's all. I mean, that's their only goal, is to disrupt. It's never to help.
Right.
It's always just to disrupt.
Well, people like to punish other people that are running for some unknown reason. Republicans do it to Republicans, and I guess the Democrats are learning from us.
Mm-hmm. Well, and definitely there's a criminal element that sneaks in, because look, you've got, are all the Senate, is everything up for election this fall?
Everything on both sides of the
building. Both sides of the building. Everything's
all
up.
170 members.
So you got 170.
Everything's 2-year term.
Okay. So 170 races.
Why don't we have our senators having longer terms?
It would require a constitutional amendment, which is be very difficult to obtain. Especially in the sentiment that we have now, everybody wants term limits, and that's the big thing in Washington. Want term limits, and that sounds good in theory, but in the practicality of it, is it really? Does it really solve a problem?
In my opinion, humble opinion, is it's a mixed bag. If you get the wrong one in there, it could be, we need term limits. If you get people that are working for us and don't care what the title is, they just do what they're supposed to do.
Correct.
We want to keep you.
Correct.
But I want that selfless public servant, but the people, this goes to a federal thing, the people that have enriched themselves.
I was going to say, this isn't a career opportunity. This is a giving back to your community. So just like the president just can't make a career of being president, I think I am a pro term limit person. I feel bad for those people like Tom that really do a good job and really care and do, but this isn't a career. This is let's help our community. And you know what? You take 2 years off. Unfortunately, I think it should be a little bit longer term, but you take a couple years off and then you go back to serving if you miss it or whatever.
Hell, I'm sure he could use, who wouldn't like to rest?
When I say term limits, I mean, I don't want somebody in there nonstop. But like if you take a season off or 2 seasons off, then you can go back and run. I think that should be true of presidents too. But that's
look, when there's so much movement, 170 seats are up. Who knows who can sneak in there besides the Democrats in sheep's clothing, right? Doing that. But then we have our own on the GOP side. We have.
But I like staggered too. So
okay.
I like staggered term.
Well, who's going to keep the criminals out? I mean, we have local
criminals
instances
running right now,
yeah.
don't we?
Yeah, we do.
I think there's something about the opponent that's running against Tom. I think he has a very serious criminal record, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know about his criminal record as far as anything like that. I only know that in what I've seen and heard from the public records of Moore County, as he has a little over 40 criminal and civil actions. Don't know that he was convicted of anything. Everybody, of course, is innocent until proven guilty. But I do know that he has over 40 actions of civil and criminal activity where he was the plaintiff or the defendant. And, I
don't think we want anybody who is that familiar with our local court system.
Unless you're running for judge.
So, all right. Well, so Senator, look, he's got over 40 run-ins.
Some of them are like businesses, not paying people.
I'm just going to get to this. How many?
Most disturbing is owing money to people, not paying, having to be sued to pay money that you owe, and foreclosure on real estate to where the bank took a hit, which ultimately reflects on the shareholders and ultimately reflects on the citizenry. I mean, it makes you wonder what's going on here. I mean,
well, we're asking somebody
to serve or not.
Right. We're asking you to be a steward of our financial security here. I mean, you're dealing with our taxes.
If you can't take care of your own thousands of dollars in your own bank account, how can you take care of the millions and billions of dollars that we have at the state level?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I think there's even been, and so I remember when that lady Tricia Cotham, she jumped sides from Democrat to Republican. I remember there was threats and people were sending her just nasty things. Senator, have you seen anything like?
Absolutely,
I'm trying to get an idea of.
I mean, this guy's threatened my life.
Really?
Yeah, he says that I need to be exterminated. And if you look up exterminate in the Funkin' Wagnall and or any of the other dictionaries,
that is not what I just heard. But
Funky Wagner.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look it up in any of the books, to exterminate is to kill.
Yeah.
And and I take that seriously, because when he made the threat, that was just a few days after those folks up in Minnesota were murdered in the middle of the night by a deranged man over politics. And in politics, ladies and gentlemen, there is no place for political violence. No place at all. If you want to harm somebody, go somewhere else and don't get involved in the race. I don't believe that makes one fit to serve.
My opinion, and I've said it before, you're running for the office. You're not running against Laura or Senator Tom. You're running for their seat. Right. So I don't see where the inclination to become violent even should enter into the context.
Not ever.
Absolutely. Not at all.
Not in daily life, and certainly not in politics. All of it, whether you're on one side, left wing, right wing, I don't care. This rhetoric has to stop between everybody. You're talking about the government. You're not talking about,
Well, and we're on the same side.
Yeah, let's put our country first, or our state first, or our county first. It's not like somebody's trying to, do something.
Well, we've devolved into, and the Democrats are guilty of this too, but the Republicans have devolved into, how Republican are you?
Yes.
Are you Republican enough?
If you don't see things my way, you're not a Republican enough.
Exactly, you're a rhino.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have a difference of opinion.
Mm-mm.
Yes, I am. But yeah, I am seeing a lot more of that. You didn't like this, or you disagreed with that. Well, it's okay as long as I agree 85% of the time. We're good.
You weren't as extreme as I wanted you to be,
right,
against that particular topic, and I think that has fed some of the forget the fake crossover people that wanted to run, but the other Republicans that are primarying now. I think a lot of that has to do with just, it's not up to their standard,
right?
Their personal standard. And look, if you want to run and put your name on a ballot, hats off, because everybody here knows what that commitment looks like. It is a constitution, so nobody's really checking if they're felons or not.
Well, needless to say, you can't, if you don't have your rights returned. And again, I have no idea about any conviction or anything. All I know about is what the charges were. And of course, everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. But again, how many out of your senator, how many court appearances are sufficient? Or where's the threshold?
I think you should have no more than 29.
29. That's a good number. Yeah. I mean, I could ask Senator McInnis. I mean, how many you got, because I mean, look, you've been in business and,
people do sue people ridiculously sometimes. I spilled my coffee going through the McDonald's.
But, to be sued in court over money usually means there's a contract involved, which means you shook somebody's hand, signed on the dotted line, took their money or owed them money, and then didn't perform.
One side or the other didn't perform.
Somebody didn't.
So maybe it's all him.
Well, I've paid my bills. I've never been indicted for a criminal act, and I've never had a foreclosure. So I am prepared to serve, continue to serve, and look forward to continuing to do the work of the people of the 21st District. And I do it all in an 80-hour week at a pay of $13,951 a year for a district that's almost 1,350 square miles of a little over 200,000 people.
And that is not Senator McInnis crying poverty. That is, I think, to quantify, we're not in this for the money.
Exactly.
By no
correct.
means. I mean, that's.
But not only is he looking out for district, it's obvious that he's looking out for other people's districts too. The veterans are important to him.
I think not only that, I mean, you have, because I've said before, the legislature, you have the caucus politics. Sometimes you got to go with the party, this, that, and the other. But I think he has proven by doing those things that he's not a straight up party man. Like he's going to have his own voice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And he'll give a voice to those here.
It's funny because locally. we went up to meet a bunch of different House of Representatives people and things like that. And I feel like Senator McInnis actually listens to the people, because there was a gentleman there that said, well, I'm going to vote my conscience. It doesn't matter what my constituents want. I said, what?
Wait, what?
They understand I'm voting my conscience. I don't care about your conscience. You're my representative.
Right.
And that's one thing I will say about Senator McInnis. He is everywhere all the time, and he's always listening.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Well, and
you're the one doing it.
Well, and he's present. And I mean, as a contrast to some other senators I've seen,
haven't seen.
The messaging that I get your weekly email. I think it's a weekly email, update. This is what's going on. I don't see that from other senators in our delegation.
I don't. I certainly don't see it from my senator.
I see a bunch of Facebook posts that are vitriolic and just starting to stir matters.
Yes.
We have sheriff's candidates coming on, but I do want to ask you about this. The legislature, if I'm not mistaken, last year, year before, passed basically a decree to the county sheriffs. You need to cooperate with the federal agencies. And unfortunately it's ICE. Okay. Yeah. That's the one taking all the hits right now. So what's the recourse if the sheriff doesn't want to comply?
Well, there is one. I don't have it committed to memory, but there is a pathway, and it might need to be looked at again because we still have several that are not wanting to play well with others.
Right.
If you use to coin that term.
I've said, the supremacy clause of the Constitution of the United States says federal government, they're it. So in this case, you've arrested somebody that DUI or whatever else. If ICE has their name, then you should hold on to them for the 72 hours, I think, or whatever. Yep. And where do they get the stones is my thing. Is like, okay, you're an elected sheriff. Where do you get the stones not to cooperate with a federal agency?
Well,
I just don't understand
politics.
from where that
they're playing politics instead of not playing with reality.
Yeah.
And the gates were open. The borders flowed with people. They didn't send their brightest and best and their Sunday school teachers and their priests. They sent a lot of bad people. They emptied the prisons. They emptied the insane asylums, and they sent them up here not to do good things, but to do bad.
Well,
and
unfortunately,
it was intentional. It was willful. It was malicious. And thank God, President Trump stood up and was counted and stopped that shenanigan mess that was going on when day one. Yeah. From day one, it stopped. And I can remember, just like both of you can, watching the news at night, and it was wave upon wave upon wave of people walking across the peninsula of Central America from every country imaginable across the world to come in here and do bad things. Now, to give the credit where the credit's due, Donald Trump stopped that. Where you like him or not is irrelevant to me. That's your business. The great thing about America, we all have a choice. I think he's doing a whale of a job protecting our citizens, protecting our folks, and let him do his job.
Well, unfortunately, we only have 2.5 more years of him, I guess, at this point. About 2.5, 3.
2.5.
3/4.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So that's my only regret is we only have a little more time with him. Go ahead, Laura.
I was going to say, I just watched all these protests and all that stuff, and these people. Well, we don't have a right to protest. We have a right to a peaceful assembly. So all of these protests, realistically, they have no right to be doing it. And I never really pray for anything bad to happen to anybody, but I am guilty of praying that if something bad is destined to happen to your family because it's predetermined by God, I pray that it's an illegal alien that does it. Because then you can get a taste of what it is that you are petitioning against and stopping. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I'm not saying that I do. But if it is in the stars that it's going to happen to you, then I pray that if you're out there harassing people that are doing their job. I pray that it is an illegal alien that does it to you. Is that bad?
No, I mean, look,
and if you want it changed, go to your legislator. These guys just signed up to do a job. They're just doing their job.
And ICE is a legal law enforcement agency. Right. I think this morning I was treated to a TikTok from the Philadelphia sheriff, who needs to do some PT, but she was talking about ICE being not a real agency and they're fake law enforcement. It's like, ma'am, 2003 ICE was founded. It came, I think, out of the Patriot Act and other things that we wanted to close this gap. So they are real law enforcement. Yes. And why do they have to cover their face? Because they're getting doxxed. They're being followed home. And these people the ICE agents live oftentimes in the communities that they're policing.
Right.
So
they just want their families safe.
And again, where do we get the stones to go up? You can yell at a cop from across the street, but you can't run up on them. I mean, it's not nice, but you can't run up on them while they're doing their job and not expect a consequence. So
I hope there's a stick in there for those people that decide not to, because they've got the carrot and you got the stick. I hope you guys put a good stick in there.
And our legislature, look, when and I can't remember the woman's last name, but it was Irina's Law. You guys passed that very quickly. I mean, Absolutely. she was murdered and on camera,
right,
on the Charlotte Light Transit, and our legislature at least responded quickly, but not enough to save her. Nope. I mean, wasn't their fault, but I mean, what all did that law kind of entail when y'all passed that?
Biggest thing I think it helped us with is cashless bail.
Okay.
Because this deal of going in and as that person had been arrested 15 or 20 times and just a revolving door, in the jail, out, in the door, out, in the jail, out, in the jail, in the door, out. I mean, at some point in time, we got to administer justice. And if the person has mental issues, let's treat them. If they've got drug addiction, let's put them in a facility or put them in a program that gets it out while they're incarcerated. Let's don't let them get in jail and be able to have access to more drugs than they were on the outside.
Right.
So there's a lot of moving parts to that.
Okay.
But the ability to do something far exceeds the ability to do nothing. And we were doing nothing for many, many decades, not years, because we're not going to take ownership of the drug crisis in America. That didn't happen just while we've been in Raleigh. That's been happening for a long time. The crack cocaine deal came about back in the 80s, and the fentanyl now has been coming on, and that's, of course, coming from China and coming from Central America. And we've got to put our foot down, and our president, who has brought forth the law enforcement folks to take care of these kingpins, these cartel leaders and all that, and put them in jail forever where they'll never see the light of day, is a powerful and meaningful tool. And I think he just had about 75 brought up here the other day. So we're going to get them in a place where there's got 3 meals a day and bars on the way.
Well, I mean, he pretty much door dashed Maduro. I mean, the guy said, come get me. So Donald Trump sent out for him and got him delivered.
That's exactly right.
And look.
Well, what are we doing, though, about the mental health? You talk about these people that are, they're the spinning door, the
repeat offenders.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So all of our mental health facilities were shut down with Obamacare, because there used to be one right over here that a friend of mine used to get his medication with. And then, Obamacare, it was all shut down.
As much as I want to hate on Obamacare, I think that trend was trending down. Okay. I think that was the death knell in the coffin. But,
so what are we doing to reinstate some mental health? Because there's a lot. Since all of that has happened, we have more homelessness. We have more.
Okay. The homelessness thing, though, this is one thing I didn't go in yesterday. Do we have more homelessness? Quantifiable? Because I'm waiting for the recent pit count to come out for Cumberland County, but last year's pit count showed 90 fewer homeless. Now, most of the nonprofits that service that population say, it's off by a factor of 3 or 4. Fair, but we're still only talking 1,200 people out of a community here.
But
over
if we had some kind of mental health institute, could we reduce it even more?
I mean, I'm sure we could, but you can't make them go.
Yes, you can.
Well, I mean,
mental health is an issue, and we have spent hundreds of millions of dollars in the General Assembly in the last 4 years building additional facilities, enhancing facilities, merging the LME MCOs to be able to be more efficient and more effective.
Okay.
But one of the challenges that we have as a state, we've got a couple of hundred beds that are sitting empty right now in behavioral health facilities. And the reason they're sitting empty because we don't have the personnel to man those beds. Now, everybody says, well, we don't have the money. Well, the main thing, you don't have the personnel, period. They're not in the pipeline.
Right.
To think about that for a living, it just, God loved those people, those citizens and those professionals that take up the mantle to be a mental health or behavioral health person, because I can only imagine getting up every day and looking at that. But it is a calling from God, and I'm certainly appreciative of their service.
Is it social workers that would primarily fill that gap, or is it medical professionals?
Medical.
I mean, or everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
Okay,
but you got beds sitting empty. You got to have nurses. You got to have doctors. You got to have.
So we have the legislature taking action and putting the funds where it needs to be, but we don't have the people. So how can we get the peoples?
Maybe some kind of signing bonus.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, my
that's what I talked about with the hospital is because we have the school here, and they were talking about they can't get people to stay here, and I said, well, give them a bonus. Yeah. Say if you stay here for 6 or 8 years or whatever, we'll help you with the down payment for a house. Once you start setting up for a certain amount of time, after I think it's 4.5 years, you tend to stay where you are. So if you did it for 6 years, and then we'll give you a bonus towards a down payment, now all of a sudden those students are like, maybe I will stay
I think
here.
As we move forward as a community and provide a better quality of life, live, work, and play type of thing, I think we will start attracting more people even without bonuses. I think this is a good place to live.
Well, we have a brand new medical school here now.
That's right.
Brand new orthopedics, and the stats show that when someone is trained in a community, in a medical facility and a medical hospital, a medical school, they have a high percentage of staying in that area.
Right.
So that's one of the things. This is going to be a game changer for Eastern North Carolina, because this is a first orthopedic training facility in the United States. I think it might even be North America, but I know it's the United States in many, many, many years. And so it's a brand new. We're putting state appropriations in it. We got them. Diane Wheatley and I brought forth appropriation of $15 million last session. We've got a request in for a like same amount this year. It's going to be an expensive venture, but it's going to be a meaningful venture, because not only does it bring the doctors and keeps the doctors, it brings all the ancillary folks to help. The nurses, the technicians, the survey techs, the surgery techs, all the folks that go along with it. So this is an economic boom and an economic engine, not only economic, but medical.
Right. And see, that's the vision that we need out of our electeds. Right. If you start changing them like you do underwear, you're not going to have that bench strength, that knowledge that goes along with the experience that I think you've definitely learned quite a bit.
Well, Peter, let's talk about seniority. Seniority means something in Washington, which I'm not in, and that's one set of rules. But in Raleigh, seniority means something. I'm number 8 out of 50.
Okay.
So I only have 7 more in front of me to the most powerful man in the state.
Okay.
I'm the senior chair of finance, which is one of the most powerful committees in the building. And I have to touch on all the revenue streams, all the different areas of revenue and taxation. So that is meaningful for Cumberland County, because we'll have our finger on the pulse of what the needs are, what the restrictions are, what the availability is, and how we can deliver the product. Okay. Just like we brought $12 million down to build a new water line for PWC to get the water out to Grays Creek. Those folks have been drinking poison water for a long time. It is not right for them to be in that position in today's world when we have the technology to do something about it. And we're doing something about it in Raleigh. We have a brand new organization called the Collaboratory, and it's between Duke and UNC and NC State, funded by our state, to come up with ideas that are futuristic about cleansing our water.
Okay.
And what they've done, they have developed a prototype process using resins, plastic resins that are washable and reusable. Right now, the only way you can clean the water appropriately and get the PFAS and the forever chemicals out is to use a charcoal process, which has to be cleaned, disposed of, and re-cleaned and reloaded all the time. Very expensive. Not a lot of opportunity there to save any money. But these resins, they're looking right now for a company to commercially produce them and get them in the marketplace so that we can do something about it. Problem with government, the problem with science, nothing moves quick enough for me.
Right.
I just worry about plastics. Like you're not supposed to be drinking out of plastics anymore because now there's something in the plastics.
Look, years ago, bacon was good. Bacon's bad for you. Eat the egg yolks. Don't eat the egg yolks. I mean, we're never going to get it right all 100%. But I think I was present when they announced that pipe down at the middle school and elementary school down at Grace Creek. I remember some pretty vocal moments. Essentially, the people taking credit were the ones that voted against.
That's correct. Only the two of us, Representative Diane Wheatley and myself, Senator Tom McInnis, voted for that appropriation, which was also included in a bigger appropriation of about $127 million to come to Cumberland County for various and sundry issues and items. You had stuff in there for the community college, for Methodist College, for Fayetteville State. You had stuff in there for the water and the sewer. We had stuff for the nonprofits. We had a lot of money, $127 million. I just looked at it this morning, to be exact.
Okay.
Just to refresh myself.
And when you say
they were trying to take credit, they didn't do anything about it. They voted against it, and we did, and we will continue to support and defend everything that we can to bring the right money and the right opportunity, the right science, and the right discipline to Cumberland County.
Well, and I don't want to sidetrack, but PwC is building a treatment plant, but if I'm not mistaken, they're building a charcoal.
They are building a charcoal because that's the only technology available all we have right now. That's correct.
Okay. Well, hopefully they can upgrade it in the future, I guess. I don't know. So, Senator, we're coming up on 41 minutes. We always have a good time.
Absolutely.
So
let's pretend for a moment that I want to donate to your campaign, because I do. How would I find you, Senator McInnis?
Just go over to our website, McInnis for State Senate, or either our Facebook page, and there's a QR code you can catch on there at either place, and it has a digital delivery there where you can put it in with your credit card. And we're, needless to say, very appreciative and very thankful and very humble for anybody that's interested in supporting our campaign.
And not just dollars either. You're always looking for people to work the polls or to help you out. So if it's not within your budget to spend money, then perhaps you could spend some time and help Senator McInnis out.
Absolutely. If you want to work, there's a place on there to volunteer, or either send us an email. If you don't want to fill out something, just send an email. And of course that address is on there as well. We'd be glad to have you. The basics of the political world is right here local. All politics is local. We need to elect quality people, whoever they are, that are willing to put forth the effort to make sure that the maximum amount of opportunity is given to everybody, not just the people that live in the big houses on the hill, but the folks that live in the mobile home down in the bottom. Their voice, their wants, and their needs is just as important as everybody else. And I've always made it upon myself to make sure that their voice was heard and they had a seat at the table.
Yes, sir. Well, Laura, any other questions for our esteemed senator here?
Nope.
No. That's it. Okay.
I'm good.
Senator, thank you for joining us for this.
Well, we didn't ask him. Is there anything else that you wanted to share that we didn't discuss with you?
Well, the main thing is this is a midterm election. There's not a president election on the ballot. There's a lot of people that are saying, I'll just sit this one out. I'll catch the next one. I'm not interested. I don't see anybody on there that excites me, or nobody that I'm mad with, or whatever. And I would just beg and plead and ask everybody, participate in the election, because when 20% of the people vote, that means you decide who 100% of the delegates are going to be for the next election.
Amen.
Because we're not having an election for keeps here. We're having an election to to figure out who is going to be the delegate in the November election. So there's 2 elections this year. We're establishing the delegate for the respective parties here on March the 3rd. Then we're going to go in November the 3rd and establish who wins that election. But it is incumbent upon each citizen that is registered to vote to go out and cast your ballot. And if you're not registered, hey, you can fix that right now. You can go to the polling place and you can vote at the appropriate time. You can register to vote pretty quickly, or you can go to the Board of Elections. There's a lot of different ways to register to vote. The Republican Party has made sure that there is no voting restrictions other than you got to show your ID, which you got to show your ID to cash your check down at Walmart.
Yes, you do.
But long and the short of it is that's an everyday occurrence and a regular operation of any commercial operation, including the banks. And so I don't see anybody complaining about that. But long and short of it is we need everybody to participate because we don't need 20% of the people saying who's going to vote for 100% of the delegates in the fall.
If ever we need you as registered Republicans to turn out, I think this election is
it?
Letting you know. Let's
get
everybody up off the couch.
And not only our registered Republicans, but our unaffiliated who have a desire to pick up the Republican ballot. We welcome your participation. We're one of the states that allows an open primary. So you can pick the ballot of your choice. But we ask you to pick up the Republican ballot because we believe our candidates are far superior to the other side.
And who should they vote for Senate?
Tom McInnis, District 21.
All right. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow, Wednesday. We welcome Representative Francis Jackson and Sheriff up for re-election, Sheriff Morgan.
Yep.
Yeah, so it should be a good day. So, Senator, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We are out.
God bless America.